Hello everyone and welcome to episode 7 of the Wrestling Madness podcast. My name is Anthony Walker, like the intro says, if you're watching this on YouTube. And today's episode, we're going to just get straight into it. I will do some shout outs later on and whatnot and other stuff as well, other good stuff. But we're just going to get straight into it, like I said, with the Raw main points. The Raw show started off this week with the first main talking point, which was the Shield addressing Evolution. Believe this, it'll take more than a taste of their own medicine to keep the Shield down, let alone shut their mouths. Despite being laid low by Evolution in Raw's closing moments last week, the Hounds of Justice were all but frothing at the mouth, daring Triple H, Randy Orton and Batista to show themselves for another fight. They seemed to get just that, as an image of an arriving limousine appeared on the Titantron. Instead of giving the veteran trio time to respond, the Shield took the fight to Evolution, sprinting to the back and with an unsuspected attack on Evolution, jumped the boys as they got out of the limo, and all hell broke loose backstage, leaving officials and referees to break up the brawl backstage, and the Shield then leaving Evolution laying on the floor, but particularly Triple H. Trust me, he did not like that one bit. The second main talking point was WWE World Heavyweight Champion addressing the WWE Universe, Daniel Bryan, that being. Climbing to the mountaintop takes its toll despite his torment at the hands of the Demon Kane. Daniel Bryan was on top of the world as recently as a week ago, but it turns out the Champion of Champions has hit a hurdle he'll need a bit more time than usual to surpass. Thanks to the 3 tombstones from Kane little more than a month earlier, Bryan was left with a neck injury, and even though he pulled through and battled at Extreme Rules, the Yes Man has to pay a steep price: neck surgery. With no timetable of his return, Bryan admitted he was not sure when he would return, but as to the question of whether he would return at all, the answer from Bryan is yes, yes, yes. Yes, and that's what the crowd chanted and started chanting then. What does the future hold for the World Championships? Bryan get to keep them, or will it be stripped? But plans have backfired, and quite frankly, all I've got to say is this, storyline or not, I hope the Authority are happy, specifically Stephanie McMahon. The third main talking point of Monday Night Raw was a rematch from SmackDown, a 6-man tag involving the World Tag Team Champions, the Usos, John Cena versus the Wyatt family. John Cena and the Usos have evened the score against the Wyatt family, but it looks like the Ito of Words is not ready to conclude the game. In their second match in 4 days against the Wyatt family, Cena and the WWE World Tag Team Champions took their time getting to their promised retribution, pausing instead to put an old-fashioned hurting on the backwards brutes. After Jey Uso was battered about by the 3 Wyatts, Jimmy took over to turn the tide before he was shut down with an authority by Luke Harper. From there, it was Jimmy's turn to suffer the Wyatts' collective wrath, and a tag to Cena only instigated a bout of all-out chaos that ended in the most epic fashion possible. The two Usos super kicks to an interfering Bray Wyatt, and I mean super kicks, they nearly took his head off, and an attitude adjustment to Eric Rowan for a 1-2-3 from the C-Nation leader and the World Tag Team Champions. Instead of the usual postmatch summoning by the Wyatt family, Bray only had a few choice words for his rival. A thank you for helping him realize what he had to do. Whatever that is, I don't know. Now, as you gathered from the first talking point, Evolution would not be happy, and they weren't. Being subjected to the Shield's brazen attacks has left them with a sour taste in their mouths. But while the Viper and the Animal were chomping at the bit to put the Hounds of Justice to sleep, Triple H took a much more measured approach in his response. He gave the Shield what they wanted, a rematch of their 6-man war at Extreme Rules. However, the game's words were cut short by a second ambush by the Shield, although this time the Hounds of Justice might have bitten off more than they could chew. Batista, a man of few words throughout the entire evening thus far, grabbed the microphone from Triple H and challenged Roman Reigns to a one-on-one match. Needless to say, the big dog of the Shield and the muscle of the Shield could not have been more happier to accept. Leading in the main event, Roman Reigns one-on-one with Batista. More on that later on. The next talking point, Stephanie McMahon calls out the World Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Bryan. Something is not sitting right with one of the principal owners of WWE and its state of affairs surrounding the World Heavyweight Championship. Daniel Bryan, despite the heartfelt address the Yes Man delivered to the WWE Universe less than an hour earlier, Stephanie, who's lately asserted herself as Bryan's primary front office foe, basically being the female Vince McMahon to Daniel Bryan, so to speak, thanks to Triple H having his hands full basically with the Shield, more or less insulted Bryan's injury was proof positive, more or less insinuated Bryan's injury was proof positive of what she's been seeing all along, that Bryan can hang with the A-plus players of WWE. Fucking skank, she hasn't got it yet. Triple H has, she hasn't. She does my head in. Bryan's an A-plus player, full stop. The problem is she's a D-plus principal owner, okay? And she's not the same woman she used to be, and I'll tell you this right now, she is a bitch. And I don't care what Sunday Segue say about this, oh yeah, Sunday Segue fancy and all that. I'm done with Stephanie. Bring back the old Steph. Then I might get back into him. This thing with her and this storyline, Daniel Bryan not being an A-plus player, God, I want to puke. Anyway, I digress. She demanded a face-to-face with the champion of the champions, but what she got was more than she bargained for, because just how far would she go? Just how far has she gone, rather, by the returning Kane? Just how far has she gone, rather, by the returning Kane's mask to him? The now former, as what it seems, director of operations, emerged instead of Bryan, dragging the carcass of the World Heavyweight Champion and Kane's former tag team partner, deposting him for Stephanie's viewing amusement, so to speak, although she was not amused, who could only look on in horror at her creation's handiwork. Yes, this is Stephanie's fault, and Stephanie's got what she wanted, and I am not buying that Stephanie didn't have nothing to do with this. I just hope and pray that Brie Bella beats the living crap out of her, quite frankly, because she deserves it. Anyway, moving on. Now on to the main event. Roman Reigns versus Batista, and Roman Reigns beating Batista via disqualification. Batista earlier on in the night called out the big dog of the Shield, and he called him out, and be careful what you wish for, because he got him. Roman Reigns wanted a fight. He got a fight, and well, he got one too. Just not the kind of fight he was expecting. The former WWE Tag Team Champion had been more than holding his own against the Evolution's animal. He's not WWE's animal, in my opinion, that's Brock Lesnar. Despite attempted interference by the rest of Evolution when Triple H preempted a Superman punch by dragging Roman Reigns out of the ring, ending the match via DQ, chaos ensued, and Stephanie McMahon sent a bevy of superstars after the Hounds of Justice, basically sticking her nose in where it didn't belong, despite the fact that her husband's right in the middle of this war with the Shield. Through the Men in Black battled their way out of the scrum in high style. Dean Ambrose planted Fandango with Dirty Deeds atop of a steel chair. Seth Rollins sent Curtis Axel onto the same steel chair with Peace of Mind, and the final triple powerbomb went to Ryback. The big guy out put the night to an end, and the hunt continues between Evolution and the Shield. Now on to TNA's main talking points. TNA's main talking points kicked off this week, and apparently it was just one main talking point, at least in my opinion. I will leave the link in the description for TNA's website and TNA's YouTube page if you want to see the other ones, the other happenings in TNA. But the main talking point from the show this week, in my opinion, involved MVP and Eric Young. Impact began with the World Heavyweight Champion Eric Young, and he is pretty far from reeling from MVP's betrayal last week. EY makes a promise to the TNA audience he won't let this corner office bullying to continue, and he refuses to allow anyone to take his championship away. Oh, and in the case you didn't know, Eric's crazy. He's always been crazy. Come to the ring now, Chief, and he'll show you some crazy. MVP arrives via video screen. Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP, the great pretender to TNA's boss throne, reveals that everything he's done is part of a master plan. He's wanted the World Heavyweight Championship from the start. Office work, paper pushing, nah, that's not MVP's scene. He's been in it for the gold since day one he stepped in to TNA. It's the whole point. Oh, you want the championship? MVP, you don't have to wait for Slammiversary. You can have it tonight. That's right. MVP versus Eric Young for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sound good? Nope, it does not. MVP turns the Beardo hero down and leaves no choice but to come and get him somewhere in the backstage. That seems to be Eric's understanding, so later on, the boss and the champ is coming to get you. Unhappy with MVP's negative response to his challenge tonight, Eric Young vowed to take the fight to him, and that's exactly what he did. The brawl started backstage and it spilled into the arena with some of the most sadistic brutality you'll see. In fact, it seemed like TNA's newly evil boss had a game plan from the start. The plan to take out the champion's arm. He was relentless in his attack. When security finally rushed to the ring, the damage had already been done, but just to make sure, MVP ordered the guards to leave, landed one more arm-breaking maneuver, and then, yes, he finally accepted the match for later tonight. See you later, one-arm boy. Bring the World Heavyweight Championship with you. The boss is taking it home tonight. When the main event finally came around, Eric Young looked all but defeated before the bell rung. MVP was merciless in his attack on the World Heavyweight Champion, and it was hard not to expect a new title holder to be crowned that night. However, Young is known for overcoming odds, insurmountable odds, despite the pain in his arm and being twisted in every direction by MVP. EY held on and kept returning fire with shots of his own. Shockingly, fans in attendance, Young came back to the match in a big way and looked ready to land his flying elbow drop when Kenny King, MVP's enemy as of recent weeks, showed up and attacked the champ, causing a disqualification. Eric fell, the ref called for the bell, and that's when everything went to hell, so to speak. The former enemies were working together, and Young was the object of their rage. They tore into the World Heavyweight Champion until Bobby Lashley, surely here to help Eric Young, came running to the ring. That's when we learned surely doesn't mean definitely. Shockingly, Lashley speared the World Heavyweight Champion, joining this new alliance of Kenny King and MVP as the third member. The boss has some friends, and the champ has some new headaches. What's going to happen next? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm interested in this, or where this has turned out, so to speak. Not because of Kenny King, although Kenny King is a talented wrestler, and not because of MVP, because of Bobby Lashley turning heel, from what it seems, joining this new alliance, this new faction, if you can call it a faction. Be interested to see what happens with Bobby Lashley as a heel, because Bobby Lashley's always been a face. He's never had the opportunity to be a heel. Never got that opportunity in WWE. So where this goes, I don't know, but I'm interested to find out, see where it does. All we know is the Slammiversary. MVP challenges Eric Young for the World Heavyweight Championship. Stay tuned to Impact for further details. Right, guys, going to take a quick break, shot a promo on, and I'll be back after this message with SmackDown's results. So stay tuned. Download the Wrestling Matters podcast now on Podomatic.com and iTunes for free. Welcome back to the Wrestling Matters podcast. Now we go on to the main points of SmackDown. John Cena kicked off SmackDown, accepting Bray Wyatt's challenge for the last man standing match at WWE Payback. However, considering Cena's extensive history in that particular type of match, he figured the only reason his dangerous foe would dare propose a stipulation was because he didn't have any marbles in his head. Cena then threw down the gauntlet and challenged any member of the Wyatt family to a SmackDown showdown, allowing the Eater of Words to choose his opponent. Wyatt and his disciples soon emerged on the Titantron, thanking Cena for helping him find the cure to his adversary's plunge, namely to take the air from his lungs. The self-professed god then followed up another frightening rendition of "He's got the whole world in his hands" with a single word: burn. Will this end at Payback, or will this continue after Payback? Usually the last man standing matches and matches like that consider and focused on that being the end of the feud. No doubt, I probably think that John Cena will probably win at Payback. Well, we'll see. Oh, and fear not, WWE Universe. Fear not, WWE fans. Bo Dallas, Mr. Bolieve, debuts next Friday night on SmackDown. And someone mistaken me for not giving a damn. As far as I'm concerned, I should have kept him on NXT. They'd be better off. After making claims on Twitter that Batista was only a member of Evolution that had not actually evolved, Dolph Ziggler found himself going one-on-one with Evolution's Animal on SmackDown. Animal dropped the show off. In the height of the action, Batista delivered a low blow to the show off, forcing the referee to call for a disqualification. Still before the smoke cleared, the 6-time world champion unleashed hell and his rage, hitting Ziggler with a post-match Batista bomb before vicious hurting him onto the ringside barrier. Will he do that or will he play his part in doing that to the Shield at Payback? We shall see. I just hope that Shield, like I said, I hope that Shield and Evolution match leads up to what happens at Battleground, and I can only pray that what I've heard comes true. That's all I hear. That's all I care about. But like I said, we shall see. And despite John Cena's earlier challenge to take on any member of the Wyatt family, leaders choosing it. Despite John Cena's earlier challenge to take on any member of the Wyatt family, leaders choosing it looked as if the new face of fear came to SmackDown's main event, ready to launch a 3-on-1 assault. However, the sudden addition of the WWE World Tag Team Champions made the creepy trio put their plan on hold. Instead of taking the match himself, Bray then chose Eric Rowan to face the leader of the C Nation. As the action of the hard-fought contest reached a fever pitch, the Usos disposed of an interfering Luke Harper, paving the way for the 11-time world champion to rally back into the match and hit Eric Rowan with an attitude adjustment after kicking out of Eric Rowan's claw. What's next on Raw for these two, Bray Wyatt and Cena? Guess we'll have to tune into Raw. I'm very much looking forward to that match because it's going to be a fight. Forget the WrestleMania match, forget the Extreme Rules match. It's going to be a war at Payback. And John Cena always has been in his last man standing matches before and fought the best. He needs to put out all the stops to win this last man standing match. I mean, remember one year when he outsmarted Batista by tying him to the turnbuckle ropes, tying his feet to the turnbuckle? I think Cena's going to need to play it smart against Bray Wyatt at Payback. Looking forward to it though. Right, I'm going to shut another promo on for a minute. I'll be back after this promo, this advert, this commercial, whatever you want to call it, with some shout outs and what lies ahead on the podcast, as well as some plugs and some promotional stuff. So stay tuned. I'll be back after this.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Are you ready?
It is Sunday, and you're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah! Get some love!
Ooh, yeah! With Kenny Killer.
Hey, yo! We're in the big D tonight, baby! And we are live! Woo!
I'm the Goddamn Sugar Suge.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be! Cause that's the bottom line! The Stone Cold Simpson!
Download the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast now at iTunes. Right, guys, welcome back to the final part of this podcast, so to speak, and onto the Twitter shoutouts that I'm about to do. So make sure you go and follow these people. The links will be in the description if you check out my YouTube page, AJW Wrestling Matters, youtube.com/AJW Wrestling Matters. Make sure you check that out as well, and make sure you check out the podcast where this will be on as well, because the links will be in the description as well, so be sure to check this out. At Axel Mulligan, who goes by the name of his real name Darren Dyer, I believe that's what it is. I know it is because he follows me and I follow him on Twitter. Check out his YouTube channel as well, and check out Axel's analysis episodes. He just checked out episode 1, very good. Be sure to check out episode 2. I will check that out the minute I get the chance, so as soon as possible. Good show. I think he discusses NXT, which is what I'm looking to do soon as well, discuss NXT. Until then, he did a very good job on this first episode, so make sure you check that out, and make sure you check out his channel and give him a sub. Shout out 2 goes up to my boys at Sunday Segue. Nothing but love for them guys, you know how it is. Make sure you check out their YouTube channel, again, links will be in the description, and at Sunday Segue on Twitter as well. Make sure you go and follow them, show your support, give them some love, and make sure you check out is it June 15th's episode of the podcast, because I'll be a guest on there in the Beat the Clock tournament match. I have a match scheduled for that day as well, for that show as well, so be sure to check it out. At the MC Cook, make sure you follow him, great guy. Make sure you follow at James Power 33 as well, and make sure you check out James Rambles as well, at James Rambles, because that's his Twitter page as well, for James Wrestling Rambles. Make sure you check out that YouTube and give him a sub and all that, and follow him on Twitter as well. That Roxy Girl and Roxy's Room, make sure the Roxy Room is for her show on YouTube as well. Again, she has a YouTube page. Make sure you go and check it out. The links will be in the description if you see this on YouTube. Check it out, give her a sub, great girl. And I want to shout out to her right now and send an apology to her for beating her boyfriend in the Beat the Clock tournament. Yes, because I'm facing her boyfriend, Big Evil, at Big Evil on Twitter. So make sure you check that out as well. Who have I missed out here? Top Rope Elbow, Steve Dawson, at Top Rope Elbow on Twitter. Make sure you check him out. Great guy, good banter with him. Wrestling fan, as you well guessed. Just all round top guy. And check out as well at Vicky Earls, probably my favourite Irish girl, I would say as well. Make sure you check that out, and make sure you check her YouTube channel as well. She does blogs and videos and whatnot, and just go on her YouTube, send some subs, give her a sub, give her some love. Great girl all around. And also just want to send a quick shout out to as well at Mrs. Paige Martin on Twitter as well. Make sure you check that out and follow her and show the respect and love as you should. And also a quick shout out to ex Katie Babbix as well on Twitter, and I'll say no more about that as well. The hardest wrestling fan I know, at least. But yeah, make sure you check them guys out. Like I say, links will be in the description as well. Also be sure to follow EPW Wrestling 1 on Twitter and facebook.com/EPW American Wrestling. Give that page a like. Again, links will be in the description, and make sure you check out the YouTube channels as well for EPW as well if you want to see some EPW wrestling action. Ever since I got back associated with that company, he's been begging me to come back and wrestle. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I do have some ideas in mind of what I want. Question is whether he'll live up to it. I do not know. Hopefully he will, but if he doesn't, like I say, I'm not fussed. But make sure you support that. Make sure you follow the Twitter and support the Facebook page as well. Give that Facebook page a like, and support my hometown promotion. That's right, EPW Wrestling is based in Middlesbrough, my hometown, Teesside based, so to speak. Also, make sure you check this show out on Podomatic, Podomatic.com. I'll leave the link in the description as well. If you want me on Facebook, I'll leave the links in the description, but I'll read them out. Facebook.com/the head Anthony Walker, Facebook.com/the head Anthony Walker 28. Yes, I have 2 Facebooks. Don't blame me, blame Facebook. Bunch of morons. At Tony_Walker on Twitter. Follow me on that. And make sure you follow the Wrestling Matters Podcast Twitter site as well. WN Podcast as well. That's mine. All the links will be in the description for that as well. And and make sure you check out CVFM Radio, cvfm.org.uk for the Wrestling Revolution podcast each and every Tuesday between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. So be sure to check that out. Again, links will be in the description as well. And just want to give a quick shout out as well to Sheamus that I did mention during the Raw main points as well. Sheamus wrestled a match with Curtis Axel this week on Raw, but also ended up facing Rybaxel and beat them both. So basically he run the Rybaxel gauntlet, so to speak. So mad props to Sheamus, and I don't care what anyone says. Babyface Sheamus, heel Sheamus. I like Sheamus because he likes to fight. Would he be better as a heel? Is it time for, I don't know, like I say, babyface or heel? He works either way. Should he go heel? I don't know. That's for debate, so to speak. Him winning the US title definitely needed something like that. I would say as well. Definitely needed something like that, just to give him a kick up the rear end, so to speak. Hopefully he'll bring some credibility back to that US title. I mean, no disrespect to Dean Ambrose, because I love Dean Ambrose just as much as anything, but let's face it, he never defended that title often. You need about, from what I know, 3 title defenses. So hopefully they'll bring some credibility back to the United States Championship and defend it more often than they should have done when they had Dean Ambrose as champion. But we'll see. This is WWE we're talking about, and that's mainly it, to be honest with you. Make sure you download Sunday Segue podcast on iTunes and Podomatic, just as you should with moi and the Wrestling Matters podcast as well. Make sure you check them out. Links will be in the description if you see this on YouTube. And that's about it for this episode 7 of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Thank you so much for your support for me doing these podcasts. Like I said, on Podomatic, the highest ranking was number 12, 2 out of the top 10. I will bust my chops to make this happen and push it even further. Make sure you check out a Wrestling Matters podcast in the near future as well, like episode 8 next week, plus more EPW specials to come. There's 2 EPW specials that I've got in the pipeline that I will put up as well. EPW from April 26th and 27th shows. But other than that, yeah, thanks for your support, guys, and without you guys this is not possible. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the podcast, the Wrestling Matters podcast, and tune in next week for episode 8 of the podcast. This is episode 7. Next week will be episode 8, 2 away from episode 10, double digits. And until next time, I've been your host, Anthony Walker. Hope you've enjoyed. Goodbye.
is enough, and it's time for a change.
It is Sunday, and you're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah. Get some love. Ooh, yeah.
With Kenny Killer.
Hey, yo. We're in the big D tonight, baby, and we are live. Woo.
I'm the Goddamn Sugar Shook.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Cause that's the bottom line. The Stone Cold Sasha.
Download the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast now at iTunes. Do you want to be an EPW wrestler? Do you want to be a wrestler in general? Are you living in the Middlesbrough area, or can you get to the Middlesbrough area? Then this is for you. EPW Wrestling. You want to be a part of it? Thought so. Go to epwwrestling.co.uk, www.facebook.com/EPW American Wrestling, and hit the like button. For further details though, go to EPW's website and contact. Contact details are on there if you want to be a part of it. EPW, where wrestling matters.